Hey everybody, welcome back once again to the RetroGameFix.com Retro Jones podcast number 121, where we are the most consistent podcast ever. That's our tagline. This is Mitch.
And this is Mike.
And we just missed a couple weeks. Whoops.
Yeah, it's all right. We tried to get one in, and then I left for work, and I was literally on the other side of the world, and so that wasn't going to work out.
Well, you know, we have listeners over there. You should have just had a live podcast.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could have done that. Oh, well.
I'm just kidding. Nobody would have showed up.
Yeah. So anyway, guess what I'm doing? Guess what I'm doing right now?
Podcasting with me?
I am doing that, but I am also, so after I got back, so the food was great.
I've got a couple thoughts, but I don't know if they're appropriate.
No, so the food was great. The food that I was allowed to eat, in Singapore was great. But
allowed to eat.
But by the time I got, I'm not going to tell that story, but by the time I got back, I was like, I could really, you know, I could really just go for some American fare. So yesterday I had like just dogs and burgers, and like right now I put aside my normal Sunday afternoon beers, and I am just drinking a Budweiser. America.
Really?
Yeah. I actually like Budweiser as far as the kind of, you know, whatever normal beers go, I guess. Would you call it that? I don't mind Bud, but I decided to.
That's like commercial beers or something. I guess I don't have any problem. Look, I'll drink anything, man.
I like Bud. Yeah, I drink Budweiser. I usually have some Budweiser in the fridge. Oddly enough,
my beer of choice when I go out is PBR because it's cheap as fuck, and I love drinking beer out of a can.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I love drinking beer out of a can. It's my favorite.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. The thing about PBR, though, is the older I get, the easier it is to get a headache from it.
Oh.
Like shit beers. You know?
Yeah, I feel you.
So, anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, we went out last night and there to like a brewery. Somebody had a wedding reception. So anyway... Somebody had a wedding reception, and it was at like a brewery, and it was awesome. Like this guy that used to be my next door neighbor started a brewery, and his beer was there, so I just drank a whole bunch of that. So anyway, it's all good, man.
I like beer.
I don't judge. I don't judge on Budweiser or Miller Lite and stuff. I like those too. Look,
I drink those too. Yeah, no, I was just saying like normally, you know, I have a plethora in the fridge usually, but I always have a pretty good selection. So I'll have sometimes some craft, like a 6-pack of some craft beer in there. And then usually I have Pacifico, because I like Pacifico. And then I'll have Bud. So I'll have kind of a high end, and then I'll have kind of like, you know, either Coronas or Pacifico. And then I'll have kind of the Budweiser or sometimes another light beer. And then I'll have like some girly shit, usually like some hard tea or whatever. Like, which those things are dangerous because they taste just like iced tea. Like, I forgot the twisted teas. Oh my God. You fire down 7 of those and you're just like, holy shit, what just happened? And then sometimes like that flavored beer, like a Blue Moon or something. So I usually have like a plethora because I just never know what I'm going to be feeling.
Yeah, I hear you. The only thing I can't do are the girly drinks. I'm not into them. I can drink like one and then I'm like, too sweet. I don't want this in a beer.
Well, that's sexist.
It is.
So anyway, I'm back. Actually, I will tell the story. I will briefly tell the story as unoffensive as possible. So we went to like a little outdoor kind of cafeteria style place to eat lunch a couple days. I was in Singapore, if I didn't mention, and it was real. The food was really good. It's funny because I watched that Anthony Bourdain episode on Singapore, and he was like, "Yeah, the food in the more modernized areas of Singapore, you'd be paying like $20 for essentially what you can get over here for $6, and in American dollars, it's like $4. Yeah. You get an entire plate of food." And anyway, so the first day I got Mongolian egg fried rice or something like that, and then the second day I was thinking about going with some of the pork, but then I saw special sauce chicken. And I was like, ooh, that's what I want. I don't want to know what's in it. I just want the special sauce.
Yeah, chicken. Usually special sauce is like a turnoff for me.
And so I go to order it and I'm like, I will try that. And she's like, no, that's not for you. And I'm like, what? You don't have it? And she's like, no. that's not for you. I'm like, what's in it? And she explains it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I want that. And she's like, no. I'm like, what? So then I didn't get it, and then I was like, well, I guess I'll have the sweet and sour chicken. And then they screwed that up, and then they brought me out the Mongolia beef again. And she realizes it, and they didn't go, oh shit, it's the Mongolia beef. She was basically like, you're eating the Mongolia beef.
She's like, oh, fuck you.
So yeah, that was it. And I was like, well, that's not fair. And then we had like some Domino's over there and some other things, but yeah, it was a cool trip.
You had Domino's in Singapore.
Well, yeah, because I think they were like, after all the food, and I think they're like, oh hey, let's order something in. So they ordered in Domino's, and Domino's over there is a little different. I mean, it's expected, but it was good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll preface this with like, I love shitty pizza too, like all kinds of shitty pizza.
I love shitty pizza. I will smash an entire Domino's pizza, but it was just different enough from what you expect. Not that it was bad pizza, but it was funny because they ordered like a crab pizza, and it was spicy, and I thought it was really good. Other than one of the guys I work with, he takes a bite, and then we all kind of we didn't realize it was crab pizza, and then we realize it's crab pizza, and he goes, "I'm allergic to fish." And I go,
you probably started laughing. Like
I had trouble not laughing, and then
you're like,
and then I realized everyone else was like, oh, and he's like, I think I'm sweating because he's like, it's a placebo effect. And then we're like, well, I think it says real crab on the website. We looked it up, and I'm like, well, what happens if you have a reaction? I mean, do we need to go find an EpiPen? And he's like, oh no, I just get bad guts. And then that's at that point I started laughing.
Of course.
I was like, well, then it's not serious. I mean, come on, man. If all you do is get the shits, that doesn't count.
You're gonna get that from eating Domino's, like, anyways, inherently from eating Domino's.
Jesus, just fall down?
No.
God.
No. My cat just jumped up on my lap and knocked the microphone
Your
off.
equilibrium got all thrown off talking about Domino's.
I almost fell out the window. Yeah, but no. Inherently, you're gonna have the shits while eating that. You're gonna get bad guts eating Domino's. Period.
You know what? Pizza Hut gives me more worse guts than Domino's does. I don't know what it is. Pizza Hut.
Don't like Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. Yeah, I don't like the crust. I will eat any freaking pizza, much like beer, except Domino's except Pizza Hut. I mean, a Pizza Hut just isn't right. It doesn't taste right.
I literally, like, the last time we ordered Pizza Hut, there was a nut, like, not like a peanut, but a nut from like a screw that was baked in the pizza. I was like,
delicious.
So we just called him and was like, there was a nut in the pizza, and explained, and they're like, oh, I don't see how that could have gotten in there. And I'm like, well, I don't care. It's in there. And they're like, what? We don't want anything because we never want to eat this garbage again. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. Half the time that's the other thing too. If I ever find something messed up with my food, I never try to, like, if I'm at a restaurant and something screwed up, I'll point it out because I'm at the restaurant. But if it's something that I ordered and it's like effed up in some way, I will usually call and tell them. But then when they're like, oh, do you want like a discount or coupons? I'm usually like, no, I just wanted to let you know that, like, it was in there. But if they, like, refund my money, I will certainly take that, but I never push for it just in case I eat there again and they recognize me. I don't want, from under cheese on my food.
I know straight up we were never going to eat Pizza Hut again at that point. That was pretty much it. It's like the pizza cutter fell apart on my pizza before they baked it or something, which I don't even know why they would have a pizza cutter before they baked it. Anyway, yes. Okay, cool. So
anyway,
amazing. Sounds like you had an interesting time over there.
It was very interesting. And right when my sleep started to adjust, then I had to get on travel for another 28 hours, and then my sleep is still fucked up. So
are you like up until like 5 a.m. now, or what? Or is it the other way?
Last night I was up until about 2, but then I forced myself this morning to get up at like 6, and so hopefully tonight I can fall asleep at a decent time because I start work at 5. So we'll see.
Sucks.
So we'll see how that goes. But
you might as well just pull an all-nighter.
Well, it depends. I mean, if it starts to get close to like 1, that I may end up doing that. We'll have to see. But I think after this, I'll probably try to fall asleep and see what happens.
Right on.
So anyway, that's
video games.
Video games, right?
Yeah, totally. What video games? What kept you busy on the flight over there? Because that would be the most boring flight ever.
Oh yeah, it was bad. So I did mostly movies, because I was just trying to get as much sleep as possible, just trying to alter my sleep pattern. But I played more Kirby on Switch, which is it's super easy, and it's really easy. But it's a lot of fun. It's kind of mindless, but like I keep like going like, oh, how do I do this move or that move or this move, and try like because it looks cool, and like at the end of the day, the game kind of plays itself. And so it's really awesome looking. I mean, the art style, everything about it looks great, but it's like, it's just mindless. So I don't know. So I played a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Story any good?
It's Kirby. There's not really a story. To it. I mean, really. But anyway, that was pretty good. There's not a lot to say about Kirby. It's pretty much Kirby. And then Octopath Traveler came out. This was from Square Enix. So it's kind of a throwback, I think, to some of the old school, like 16-bits Super Nintendo games. RPGs. It's turn-based, so it's a turn-based JRPG, and I started it. So the first story of it was I saw that they had the limited edition, special edition ones in stock at Best Buy before I left. And so I went to pick it up. And in-store pickup, like Best Buy, when they ship you stuff, it always comes damaged.
Trashed, yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just pick it up in store because it's in stock. So I go in store to pick it up, get it out to my car, and it's damaged. I told you about that. I don't think we podcast, though. And then I was like, I'm not even gonna deal with going back.
I didn't even think you told me about that.
Oh, yeah, and it was damaged. I'm like, the effort it would take to mess with the store employees right now, I'm not even gonna screw with it. So I on purpose didn't start that at home, and I thought, well, I'm going to start this on the plane. And so out of the gate, it was the most annoying. So there's not a lot of talking. It's a lot of text dialogue, which I'm fine with in a JRPG.
Yeah.
But it's like medieval talking, and they end every word with "ith."
Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
And it's like, yo, you're overdoing it. So it's, Mitcheth, come overeth, heareth, and listeneth to my, and like, get the, stop. I'm like, just, can I turn off the eth? Can I turn that off? And you can't, obviously. So that wasn't great, but then I got into the game, and I started doing some battle, and the turn-based battle's really good. But I was like, I got to a point where I'm like, I just don't know if I'm in the mood for this right now.
Yeah.
And even
you really got to be committed a lot of times.
Well, and I was stuck on a plane, but I was like, there's too much. I just didn't feel like doing it. And so I got about an hour and a half in. I was having an okay time. But I'm just not in the mood for a turn-based RPG right now. And so I just thought, I know I'm not going to see it through. So before I put 15 hours into this thing and then have to come back to it someday and start over because I don't remember where I'm at, I'm just not going to start it. But essentially there's 8 personalities that you play as, and they can come on your team at different points, and I think at some point like the stories merge and some shit like that. So I don't know, sounds cool. Anybody that's way further into it and has more knowledge and follows Octopath Traveler is probably screaming at me right now, but
sounds cool. I don't know, I would probably check that out at some point.
Yeah, so and it's gorgeous looking. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, it is a great game. I think I'll end up enjoying it, but like I said, I'm not in the mood for one of those right now.
I really any kind of JRPG turn-based battle thing. Usually those are epic, as far as length. I really have to commit to it, and I have a hard time doing that sometimes. So, but I always love them. They're like, some of those games are some of my favorite games ever. Once I really get into them, but man, it's such a time suck. It, as a parent as well as I do, just time is
no time
comes at a premium at this point.
Yeah. So, and then
there's no time. Exactly.
And then I tried to finish Sonic Mania, and Sonic Mania is a ton of fun, but I realized that the problem for me with Sonic games now is I'm not having as much fun with Sonic games as I used to. And this is a really good Sonic game. Really good. But when you get to like the end boss, I'm literally on the last stage, and the end bosses aren't like that hard.
Yeah.
But that's the frustrating part about it is like I get to the final Dr. Robotnik, and I know it's the final Dr. Robotnik, and then I'm on this plane, and then I fuck it up, and then you have to start all the way over at Act 1, and I'm like, I just don't want to do this for 15 minutes again. And so I put it back down so I'll probably beat that tonight when I lay down. Maybe that'll be my nightcap. Lay in bed and beat Sonic Mania quick.
Sure.
So I played those 3 games and then watched a ton of movies. I played some Mario Kart, obviously, because Mario Kart's awesome.
Definitely.
But yeah, that was it. That's kind of what I did on the plane. Groundbreaking stuff. I know.
Yep. Well, that's about as groundbreaking as what I played this week. I'll give you one guess, even though you know what it is already. If you fail that guess, that's pretty bad.
Did you play a pinball machine?
No, actually, you totally failed.
Mario.
Yes, of course.
I will be sending Zelda here shortly.
And I'll send your Mario back. I think I'm finally at a point, and I'm so Mario came out a while ago, so I won't talk too much at length about it anymore. But I gotta say, I really got into it. Look, how many stars did you say there were in that game? 700.
I think 700. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up to 500 and some right now,
and
I think I'm ready to quit because after 250 or something like that, you get another semi-level. It's not really that great. It's kind of a rehash, and then you get another another extra level after that, and I'm just not into it. So I think I'm at a good stopping point right now. But I will say I had a ton of fun up to that point. My least favorite thing about the entire game was the story mode. And I know that's weird. One of my buddies that has a Switch in Mario was like floored by that comment. He's like, I love the story mode. And I'm sure a lot of people did, but
it makes me want to shoot myself in the dick.
Yeah, it just wasn't that compelling for me. I mean, I've played enough Mario games, and I'm sure everybody has, but I wanted the, like we said last time too, I just wanted the game to be over with. I just wanted to beat the game. It wasn't about like enjoying the journey of the game. It was more about like, let's get this over with until, at the end we ended in the Mushroom Kingdom, and it was totally a throwback to 64. Mario 64. And, as dumb as that is, I'm like, that really grabbed my attention where I was like, whoa, awesome,
Yeah, and well, you know what? I think there was a lot of people that liked the story mode, but for the most part, everybody that I heard were like, yeah, the story mode's good, but it's really kind of that end game that's amazing. But like I said, for me, I kind of knew that, but for me, once I got to the end, I was so turned off that I just was like, I'm done. But now that, not that everybody didn't tell me, but now that you told me, I'm like, okay, I'll go back to it.
Yeah, it's really kind of addicting. And, I don't really care about the outfits and all that stuff. I don't care at all about those. So, but that's a nice little added thing. There's lots of little side quests, like all the area coins, like trying to collect all those and, buy all the stuff in the shop. Otherwise, most of the time it doesn't matter. But, there's a lot more nostalgia on the after game part. And maybe that's why
maybe that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. There's a lot more nostalgia in that. I mean, there wasn't as much there was, like, we talked about New Donk City and the, Donkey Kong tribute thing. Mm-hmm. That definitely hit the right notes right there for me.
Yeah, I couldn't, when that came up, I couldn't stop. I was smiling ear to ear playing through that. That was awesome.
And the little 2D conversion thing was always cool during the story mode. I always thought that was cool. And I'm like, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, is that really dumb? Can I get out of am I stuck in the past or something? What's wrong with me? Or, I don't even know. It's not even anything to explore. But they did have at one, they had just all these really cool little modes and little things. That I can't even remember what all of them were at this point. But I know, like, one time you played the first level of Mario to get these, couple of moons at one point, and it was so cool. So there was a lot of cool stuff that I'm glad I kind of went back and checked it out. And
sure,
again, there's not really anything that I'm gonna say beyond that, except there's lots of cool little like nods and like It's worth playing. It's worth playing past the story mode, and again, I really like the game now, and you pretty much can listen to the last couple episodes and follow my mindset and our mindset throughout the different stages of the game. But I'm about at 500 stars, and I really feel like with the extra level right now, I'm like, I'm done. I don't even give a shit what's at the end of this level. To be honest, I'm done playing it. I'm done. So I haven't played it since.
All right, twisted my arm. I will give it another shot.
Yeah, give it a shot. I mean, play up to 250 stars, or you don't even need to go. Look, I'm not going to go up to 700. I'm pretty close, but I'm not going to do it. Period. So anyway, that's it. So I played Mario. I think what I'm going to do next, and yeah, sure, if you want to send Zelda, send it on by. But I think I'm going to buy that Wonder Boy 3 remake. And again.
It's so good.
You think so?
Yeah, it's so good, dude. I mean, it's Wonder Boy, and it's like a perfect rebuild of the game, right? Yeah, but if you wanted to just replay it as like the Sega Master System version, like they completely
do the 8-bit game.
Yeah, they completely remade it where you probably wouldn't even tell that it's not the Master System version, other than there's a little more polish on the visual. But I mean, it pretty much looks dead on, and that's probably just because it's on the LCD. And the LED screen, and it just looks good for once on there. But it's completely, if you do the new kind of modern hand-drawn art version, it's it's cel-shaded. So good. It's just so good looking, and the music is great. I found the way that I played through it was using the new visuals with the old audio.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's what I did.
I was just going to say, can you switch it up like that? Because that would
you can.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, you can. It was so good. So I did the old audio with the new graphics. It was just sweet the whole way through. I mean, it's Wonder Boy 3. It's a fucking phenomenal game, but it's like with the new graphics and the old audio, it was perfect.
Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, I've said this before on some of the way earlier episodes. As a musician, it sounds stupid, but I can definitely trace my interest in the styles of music that I'm interested in, or that I don't know if you listen to the music that I've written. I don't know if you'd catch it, but some of the music that really inspired me to be into music in the first place were video game music, and Wonder Boy 3 was huge for that. The music in that, I love it when I'm playing that game. I play it just for the music, So that might be what I have to do. But then again, I might have to actually just try the new music too. I kind of have to try it out. And
it's easy to flip back and forth. It's been a while since I played it, but it's easy to flip back and forth too. So
yeah, and I've played it and beat it within the last couple of years. So I don't really need the 8-bit version right now. But you know what I'm really looking forward to above all on that game is that you don't have to write down a 16 to 20 digit code.
Yes,
for saving.
Also,
that was
a bonus.
The dumbest thing.
It's so dumb.
Why would you do that? I mean, I guess they had.
I don't think they had any other way to do it back in the day.
They had. I guess they had.
You can though. Here's the thing though. If you have codes, they imported all the codes. So if you have codes from the Sega Master System, you can put those in and they work.
Really? I've got the last code that I wrote down, if I even have it, was the last guy. So
yeah, you can. So if you have that code, you can put they kept those intact, so you can actually enter the codes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a cool little throwback too. Yeah, Wonder Boy turned out amazing.
So that's got to be the next thing I play. And I'm so slow at moving through games. Like I just got 500 moons on Mario.
Well, that's the way to do it. I wish that's how I did it, but
I don't know. I'm just slow gamer. Apparently, I just like to savor them. But I think my next thing's going to be Wonder Boy 3. That's another throwback thing.
I think so. You've got a couple that I think you'd like. That Yoku's Island Revenge that I told you about.
I do want to try that.
Island Express. That's awesome. And then my game, probably game of the year so far, at least on the Switch, was Celeste. And I think that's $10 or $15, but it's got like...
Is that the pixelated one?
It's pixels, but it's like the levels... It's a hard game, but it's a really good platformer. It's like, you go watch some videos on it and see if it's your thing. It's
okay. Yeah, I love platformers.
They call it, I forgot what they call it, a splatformer. because it's a lot of trial and error because you're trying to get through like these stages, and it's a lot of like you got to get on like a good rhythm because you're jumping and moving, and there's ways to get around it. And then if you die, it puts you like right back to a checkpoint or the beginning of what is technically that stage. But the stages aren't very long. So you're in a world, but each world could have like 50 stages in it. But the stages probably only take, once you figure it out, each stage probably only takes a minute. But you have to, it's really good. Celeste is one of my favorite games of the year so far. So check out the videos on that. But yeah,
is it a quick game or is it?
No, it took me about 8 hours.
Time consuming.
No, it took me about 8 hours, I think, to get through it all.
Oh, that's not much.
Yeah, I think it took 8 hours. Yeah, and it's really good. And at first it pissed me off because I wanted a D-pad, but then once I started playing it, I figured out that like, wow, the joystick actually works really good. Because there's some jumps and moves you have to perform that just wouldn't have been as easy with the D-pad. So, check out Celeste. It's super good.
I can see Wonder Boy 3, Celeste, and Yoku's Island Express look like, I'm intrigued by all three of those. So
yeah, real good.
But so yeah, I'll have to check. I'll check back in next week. But I think I'm going to start with Wonder Boy 3 for the sake of nostalgia. I guess
it might be on sale right now. Actually.
Oh, is that right?
Let me take
I'll have to check it out.
They had a big e-sale going on right now. Unless you want to get the physical, but that's $30. I think it's only $15 if you get it on the eShop.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll probably just
it's $40 if you get it physical, which is physical.
Physical.
I think it's $20. It's $20 digital, so it's half.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably snag that tonight or something and start checking it out. Now I guess now I'm interested in all these other couple of games that you've told, Celeste and Yoku's Island Express.
Island Express, yeah. So, yeah, that's like a pinball platformer. Oh, it's so.
I know that looks so cool. That
Yeah.
looks so cool. I remember you told me about that, and I forgot about it. And now I'm looking through it again, and I'm like, that looks awesome. That looks like something I'd really be interested in.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
I'd probably eventually buy the physical copy of
Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy 3 just because, but not. I don't care right now. So
yeah. Before you do it, just have me order it because Best Buy ended Gamers Club Unlocked, but I still have mine through like 2020.
Right, sweet. So, I could get it by then.
Yeah. So let me know because I'll just order it for you and then send it to your house.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then it'll be $32 instead of $40.
Yeah, that actually. Now I'm thinking, maybe I should just buy it like that.
Yeah, just get it done.
Well, I'll figure it out. But so yeah, that's literally all I've been playing as far as video games go this week. But I just want to go ahead and update on my diner too. I actually started a thread on Pinside on my restoration, and I hate doing stuff I hate blogging and writing, updating. And all that crap, but I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Because if you see the before pictures of this shit, it is fucking disgusting. Like, I hadn't looked at the before pictures of this thing since I got it, really. I mean, really, I haven't looked at the pictures of it since I got it. But after I've updated my thread here and I kind of dug into my phone and found some original photos of this thing, the playfield's disgusting. I'm like, I've got a couple of people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe you even touched that thing. And I'm like, I use a heavy duty respirator and gloves, like heavy duty gloves and all that crap. Cause it was just nasty. It makes me want to actually throw up looking at it, but it's actually looking awesome now. I mean, this is one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it looks fucking horrible to begin with. But I want it to look as bad as possible so that the final image, because I know I'm going to be able to make it look awesome. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of time as far as that goes. So I can do that. It's just a long trek to get to that point. But the worse it was at the beginning, the better. So anyway, I started like a thread on there. I've gotten to the point where I got all the inserts. The white area is done, and I sent it back to my buddy Joey, who's doing the clear coating, to go ahead and shoot another layer of clear coat on it and stuff. So, because I'm kind of running into areas that I've done already, and I don't want to screw them up and have to do them again. So it's coming along great. I still have like an eternity to go on this playfield, but it's looking good now. What I just sent you on is not what it looks like now. That's what it looked like when I originally got it.
Yeah.
Yep. It looks like horrible. So anyway, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to have a break from it because I've been hitting this thing hard for probably a month. That's when I got the base clear coat on. So I've gotten a lot of progress done, and I've learned a lot about the vinyl cutter is awesome. And I'm just he can take as long as he wants. I kind of want it now, but I kind of really need a break on it too. So that's where I'm at as far as the diner goes. We'll post some pictures when there's actually something to post. But I still feel like it's barely over the scale, like as far as looking like shit. No matter, like, even though the individual areas that I've done look great, it's kind of barely tipped where the entire thing overall doesn't look as shitty now. I think it looks okay now. So
cool.
Anyway, it's getting there. So anyway, before I get to the next thing, is there anything in particular that you wanted to address before we get in there?
I do want to mention that I watched the new Tomb Raider movie on the flight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I heard some mixed things, let's say mediocre to bad reviews on it. And for this movie, I go into these kind of the same way as I went into Ninja Turtles and other things. Like, it's a video game movie, or it's a this movie or that movie, where I go, I don't think this movie is, like, I don't go in with this expectation that this thing is going to move me and provide some, crazy life-changing experience. So I kind of go ahead.
Let me butt in right there real quick too, because I was just thinking about the Street Fighter 2 movie the other day.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking terrible. That and Mario Brothers with John Leguizamo was probably set the bar incredibly low for video game movies.
Those were shit. But the way that I heard Tomb Raider being talked about was in like a way in comparison to, like, I don't know what they were expecting. Look, it's a popcorn action movie, start to finish. And I'm not saying it was the greatest popcorn action movie, but there were like throwback, like, I don't know. There were things that kind of threw back to the game from like some sound effects and like the screen going dizzy and then her hiding to make it better.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
I thought it was
but
I thought it was good.
Okay. Cool.
I thought it was good. I would actually recommend, if you're a Tomb Raider fan or a fan of just like action movies, that it's a good one of those. It's a good action movie. And if you like Tomb Raider, it's actually good too. Like, so
I might have to check that out.
I actually thought it was pretty good.
They have a lot of nods and stuff to the game. There's got to be some nostalgia factor in there, right?
Yeah, there was. It was pretty cool, man. And everybody was like, "Oh, it's just violence porn and blah 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 blah." I'm like, it's an action thriller movie. It's an action movie. Like, right. There's this weird. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it. There was always a weird conversation about the new Tomb Raiders being a female protagonist, like always, in Lara Croft, and the game's just being brutally violent toward her. And I'm like, it's a violent video game. And so this movie is no different. She takes a lot of lumps and takes a lot of beatings. But it's ultimately Tomb Raider, and she ends up kicking some ass. And like, if you don't try to get too like smartest guy in the room about her, smartest girl in the room about like, I'm so cutting edge and and look at me break down this Tomb Raider film.
Right.
Most normal people come out of it and go, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I think you would do the same.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it. I'm a glutton for punishment as far as video game movies go, because pretty much they never adapt.
This one's good. This one's one of the better ones, though. My favorite movie adaptation from a video game. Do you have one in particular by the way? You want to think about it for a sec? Yeah, I guess I can't think of one off the top of my head.
My favorite one, and I don't even know why, I love this movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies out. I don't know about ever, but it's probably in my like top 50. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, yeah. That's what I was actually going to say. Silent Hill was great.
The first Silent Hill. I don't know about the second one. I couldn't really make it through that one, but the first one was awesome.
Yeah, the first one was great.
I don't know why, and I don't know if it's because I really enjoyed the game or not, but I thought they really kicked ass on that movie. I thought it was great. It was really like dark and really well done.
Yeah, it was dark and eerie, and I thought it was again
unsettling.
Yeah, it was it was unsettling, and I came out of it going like, that was awesome. I liked that. So
yeah, I actually ended up buying it years ago. When buying DVDs was still a thing. So I own it, and it's on Netflix no matter what. So I actually have thought about going back and watching it. There's so many movies I want to see that are on like HBO and Netflix and all that shit that I'm just so behind on. But I kind of want to see that movie again. That's my favorite. That's the only one that I can think of that didn't make me want to kick over the TV or something. There's some they're awesomely bad. Like Street Fighter 2 is so fucking bad, and I would like to go back and watch the original Mario Brothers movie or the only Mario Brothers movie because it was so fucking bad. I mean, we saw that in the theater together, didn't we?
I'm pretty sure. I think we saw it in Owatonna.
I'm almost positive we saw it together, and we knew right away it was a steaming pile of shit. It was just not good.
It's fucking terrible.
I want to look that up. I got to look that up and see if that's anywhere to be seen. Yeah. So,
anyway. Just the other thing, I did download the entire classic 87, all 10 original seasons of Ninja Turtles, because Violet's been really into Ninja Turtles.
Awesome. So, you've raised your kid right.
So that was a lot of fun. Well, yeah. Other than now, she's really starting to do I don't know where she runs around and says, "I'm a warrior princess. I'm going to fight you." And I'm like, I don't know where she got the warrior princess thing from, and I don't know why she's gonna fight me, but this is hilarious because she goes and takes a whisk out of the kitchen drawer, because we have like a kitchen drawer that's low enough with like non-dangerous kitchen utensils, right. And she'll go get a whisk and run around and say she's a princess warrior and she's gonna fight me, and I'm like, I don't know if that's great, but whatever.
My kid says oh my god, yeah, actually, my kid, he requests metal when we are in my car. So he's like, can we listen to metal? I'm like, yeah, of course, So I put it on like the liquid metal station on Sirius XM, and he loves it. I mean, he's not just like, he doesn't like it because I like it, but Pantera comes on and stuff like that. He's like, this is my favorite. I'm like, you're the best, dude.
Yeah, Pantera's my favorite too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you are totally my son. I hope. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, like I called my mom on my in my car the other day, and he's like, hey, Grammy, I have something to tell you. And she's like, what's that, Johnny? And he goes, metal. And then he did the same thing with my dad and stuff. So, and now I taught him how to do the horns. So
horns. Yeah, we tried
how to do that today too.
We tried that. So you remember when I sent you that video about Violet going, hello Minneapolis, let's rock and roll?
Yep.
Now she just does that all the time. So yesterday I decided to bring up my bass, and I started playing just some Kickstart My Heart, because of course that's what I'd play. And so now she just does the oh yeah, Kickstart My Heart, and then she kind of skips the Hope It Never Stops, and then she goes, oh yeah, baby. But she doesn't quite sing it, and I'm like, yeah, Motley Crue.
Does she kick stuff over when you do it?
No, but I was showing her how to kick stuff. I was doing the rock and roll jump kick like David Lee Roth does. And so she started jumping around the house trying to do it. I was like, she can't really jump kick, but she was just jumping all over the house, and I was like, that's my girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, kids are fun.
Kids are fun, especially when they like awesome music.
Yep.
I was a little worried there for a bit, but with like Bob the Train and stuff. But man, he just transitioned from Bob the Train to metal,
right into Pantera. Man, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, the other just random note that I wanted to bring up too is I was just at the store the other day, and I have a couple of the I don't even know what company it is, but those little arcade machines that are they're like $20, in the store, and they have like Cubert, and now they have Rampage and Joust and
I have seen that.
Pac-Man.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've got like the Asteroids and the Cubert, and I thought they were so cool. They're kind of cool. I was a little disappointed to find out that Cubert, they just basically licensed instead of actually putting the real game in there, they licensed God, it was a Konami or something. I can't remember who licensed it for the NES release port, but it is actually the NES port that is on there. The Pac-Man one is shitty. Pac-Man one is unplayable. It's like the 2600 version, I think. And really, I've got like Frogger 2. That's actually one of the better ones, but most of them are just like really bad ports. And I think Joust and Rampage are a little better, but I still think that they're like the NES ports. So even though I think it was Joust 2 on NES, I don't know. But anyway, I've kind of been keeping an eye on them. And I'm like, do I really want to collect those? And I'm like, no, my kid enjoys them, and I don't really enjoy them as much. I just like to look at them for the most part. So I've only got a couple, and I don't think I'm going to buy any more. But this is becoming like a trend or something, because I looked in a different part of the store the other day, and I saw like they had Bad Dudes and like Dig Dug. I don't even know. They had a whole bunch of Miss Pac-Man, I guess, which was actually a better version of it. I don't know, lots of them. I'm like, okay, well, this is a thing now. Apparently, they're these mini arcades from different companies. Like everybody's copying each other, and for some reason, they all have to be mini arcades.
Yeah. I noticed that trend. I'm of two minds, and this is maybe just the cynical side of me, just coming out about everything kind of retro. Not because it's popular. I love that it's kind of everywhere, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like people will see anything retro, and it's like, I'm going to collect that. And that's fine. Like, right for you, like the Cubert and stuff, you go, those are cool things. I like that stuff. It's neat. But then, like, it's like between all of these kind of retro systems and the tiny arcades and all of this other shit, I'm just like, none of this, it just feels like it's product for product's sake and none of it's quality anymore. And like, that's where I just draw the line of like, is this just trash to capitalize and make money, or is somebody actually passionate behind this and they're building things that like are cool? And yeah. I don't know. Like everything that I see now that's retro in nature, I just have this cynical look at it and I'm like, And that's just me, but I just like, that's my initial reaction anytime I see like something new pop up. I'm just like, But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're cool in theory, but I can't do it because especially, and I understand, look, they're only $20, so it's not like you can license like the best version of it, I'm sure, and it'll get the job done. Look, if I had these things when I was a kid,
yeah,
that would be like freaking that dude, I would have murdered somebody for the possibility of having
the mini
one of these things. But but because I used to have, we've talked about the like the Game Watches and the little what was the company, Tiger
Electronics. I was talking to
was it Tiger?
I was talking to Angry Panda, who go back and forth online a lot on Twitter, and I was talking about our exclusive video game club and how it started. And you had Vindicators.
Yeah.
And that was a Tiger Electronics game. And we were looking at them. There was Jordan versus Bird. And like, those were fucking sweet. And there was the Konami ones with Ninja Turtles, I think. And so, yeah, that stuff was dope. Those are the things, see, like, that's where I think I want to start collecting again. Is those old ass Tiger handhelds and like Ninja Turtles, Konami shit.
But they're like unplayable now.
Oh, they're terrible. They look great.
They're awful. I had a Castlevania Game Watch at 1.2, and I got really good at them, and I had like Battletoads as well, and I got really good at those things, and they're just garbage. Yeah. I mean, those black and white LCD, like early LCDs, are just terrible. I mean, there's like lag, horrible lag, and it's just, they look terrible.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was a kid one time for Christmas. Like I picked out with my grandma, they had like a little mini arcade, just like what they're coming out with now. And I don't even remember what the game was, but I was so excited. I was like, I want that, And it was another like it was essentially, you know, the quality of a Tiger handheld as well. And I was super I think I've said this on the podcast. I don't even remember what we said on the podcast, but I was super excited about it for like 6 months because I picked it out like 6 months before Christmas for my grandma. So my grandma was going to give this to me. And I was like thinking about it for like 6 months. I was like, this is going to be dope. I love it. You know, I was really super excited about it. And then Christmas came along and my brother opens up a present and it's the thing. I was like, no. Why? She gave it to the wrong person,
Why?
you idiot.
Yeah.
I was like, Grandma, you moron. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I would have been like.
Yeah, you dumbass. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
I still have a lot of rage about that, obviously. My brother like held it over my head because that's exactly the kind of shit that he would do like the entire time. I'm like, you could have given it to anybody except for him. Like,
yeah, well, we got him back. We used to steal piles of CDs from him, so.
We did, yeah. Oh, we'll pretend like that never happened, but yes, we did.
So I just sent you a link to the guy that I was mentioning before, though. This 8-bit boutique on Twitter. He does some really cool like mini pinballs, along with like some wall art and some 3D wall art and just different things like that. Like if you scroll down his page, there's like an X-Men.
Yeah,
those are dope.
I think I've seen some of those before. And is this guy out of like Australia or something?
Yeah. He is.
Okay, yeah. Yep, I've seen his stuff. His stuff is amazing.
Yeah, his stuff is phenomenal. Like that's the kind of shit where I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I want those, because they look so good.
Like literally, they're you know to definitely to scale. Like everything is there. You know, through these videos, it looks like everything's there with like the pinballs and stuff. That's super cool. And I'm like, I don't need more shit. I don't even have space for that shit, but I want that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, these ones aren't functional. They're just like art pieces. But God,
no, of course they're not. Yeah, they're not functional at all. I think this guy's been around for a while.
Yeah, I think so too. He has, but his shit is just real good.
But it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, and so if anyone wants to look, it's at SCG8bit on Twitter. His stuff is really good. It's 8-bit boutique. It's amazing work. So check that out.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't need more shit because if I bought them, I wouldn't have a place to look at them. You know, I would have to put them in a box. I don't have space for that shit.
I feel you.
So anyway, but as far as the getting back to the original point as well, like Bad Dudes, I was like, oh, Bad Dudes. I was like, I love that. You know, I really did. I got that for the NES, and I was totally into that game. And we used to play the hell out of that game, and I was like, I want this, you know. And I was like, you know what? No, that's a total impulse buy. It's got my name written all over it. They built that specifically for me. I'm not going to fall for the trap.
No.
God damn it. I don't need that. I don't need a fucking Bad Dudes mini arcade game. I don't even get why they would make a mini arcade game in the first place.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, yeah. Actually, oh my God. By the way, side note here. I'll see if I can find this. I just remembered this. Just in time for our podcast. But somebody had pointed out too, Walmart is going to start carrying these mini arcade games. Not mini like the size of these things, but mini as in they're like, man, 3/4 size or something. They're like the size of a cabaret arcade game. And they're like $300. And I'm sure they're not the best quality or anything like that, but they have like multiple games. Like there's a mini Street Fighter 2 one that has like Final Fight and like a couple other ones. And there's just they actually looked they actually looked kind of cool. Where it was another thing where I was like, I gotta have that, and then I'm like, dude, I don't fucking need that, you know. But they're like $300, and they're like 3/4 size arcade machines. And I think you assemble them and everything. I'm sure they're garbage, but they look fucking awesome. I think they're kind of one of those things where I was like, well, maybe I could scratch that itch for for Street Fighter 2 or something. And I'm like, no, that's dumb. I'll just go buy a Street Fighter 2 for that price.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, they have like, okay, here it is. They have like Rampage, and they look like, they fucking cabinets look like they're made out of paper or something. But it's like Rampage, Gauntlet, Joust, and Defender, and the one. And then there's Asteroids that has Asteroids, Major Havoc, Lunar Lander, and Tempest, which that's pretty cool. I mean, they're really cool selections, I think. Street Fighter 2, it says Super Street Fighter 2, and I can't read it. Super something other Street Fighter 2 and Final Fight, I think. Or no, I don't see Final Fight. Then there's Centipede, Missile Command, Crystal Castles, Millipede. And then there's there's a Final Fight machine that has Final Fight 1944 and Ghosts and Goblins, and I can't read the other one. So that's actually kind of they're like, I think they're $2.99. Yeah, $2.99, and they'll be sold at like Walmart or something. But they have like an LCD and stuff. They're by developers, so there's like Midway, there's Atari, Capcom, Atari. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. It's interesting how like arcade stuff like this is like really back to the point where they can mass market them in like Walmart or some shit. And I'm sure they'll sell, you know?
Yeah, they will. They will. I mean, everything retro sells right now, so they'll sell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. And I'm not saying, I just want to be clear. I'm not saying they shouldn't exist. I mean, people like, it's cool. And I'm glad that they're available. Like, that's cool. But like, for me, I'm just like, everything this point's just like, it all seems like an attitude t-shirt for me, right? Like, oh, you know, I have this. I don't know. I just don't need everything to be retro right now. Like, I don't need to identify my entire life with like these retro products. And it's just like, everything's on the shelf and it's retro everywhere, every mainstream. And it's like, I'm just kind of tired of seeing it everywhere. And so like, I'm glad that it exists, but I'm just kind of over it at this point.
I don't know. I'm always tempted to just piss away money on this shit,
no,
and I really don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I've got actually my eyes on a couple things here in the near future. I've got this. There's this guy that's a friend of a friend that is just trying to like fire sell a bunch of his shit, and he's got a centipede cocktail, which I've really wanted a centipede. I've owned probably 4 or 5 centipedes over the years. And it's never been one that I've really held on for that long. But I'm really in the mode where I'm like, I want a centipede again. And he's got a centipede cabaret, which is a smaller version of it, which is the coolest cabaret and one of the coolest cabarets. Tempest Cabaret is also equally as cool, if not better.
Yeah.
But I'll never own one of those. But he's got like a centipede cabaret, and he does have that Street Fighter 2 still that I was trying to get a few months back. So if I can get it for a good price, I might have to snag one or both of them. And I kind of am in the mode where I'm like, I kind of want more arcades right now. It's weird, you know. I'm in the pinball phase like hard, and I was in the arcade phase for really hard as well. Because one of my friends has a wide body Mario as well. Then I'm like, that's
the only regret I have of selling my arcades was that one.
You sold it for $400.
At the time, it was not like, at the time I was like, whatever. I got $600 for that one. Like, I sold the Donkey Kong Jr. for $400, I think. Then I don't know what I got the Galaxian for, or sold the Galaxian for.
Well, one of my buddies has one for like $600, and I'm like, do I buy that, or do I buy the Centipede Cabaret, or do I buy the Street Fighter 2?
I'd get the Mario.
I think if I rank those, because
the Street Fighter 2 was so good.
It is, and it used to be so common. But no, I can't do that anymore either. It sucks because my buddy was like, "Oh yeah, he's got an empty dynamo cabinet too," and I'm like, "What the fuck? I told you I was looking for a dynamo cabinet." And he's like, "Yeah, he's got an empty dynamo cabinet too." And I'm like, "Wow, man! I sold my freaking copy of Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition to get the Switch from you."
Yeah.
So I got kicked in the nuts on that, but I like the Switch. I do. I just don't want to spend $180 on a fucking Street Fighter 2 board.
Yeah.
Now. So anyway, long story short, I don't even know how I would rank those. You know, Mario is awesome. If it is truly the wide body version of that, I think that would probably be tied with the Centipede, and then Street Fighter 2 would be after that. But I want to own them all, but I kind of want to start collecting some vids again. I got so much space in my room where I could fit about 3 more arcades in my lineup downstairs and it'd be perfect. So
yeah, I don't have any, like, the thing is, the only thing that saves me from not really regretting that Mario sale was the fact that like I still have 2 arcades in my like cabinets that I still haven't put anywhere and don't actually have room for anymore.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I wouldn't. That's why I sold it to begin with. I just ran out of space in my old house.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's the only one though, because it's like the wide body was so fucking cool.
It is. It's the only one. I wouldn't really probably spend a dime on a conversion.
No.
So anyway,
so here was the thing, and this will have to go into next week. So put this in the notes. So
Okay.
for anyone listening, this is how we plan episodes sometimes, right live on the show. I want to talk about the, people selling their collections, which I did once and then realized I should have never sold my collection, and now I'm getting it back. Because I'm seeing a lot of videos of people doing I sold my collection and here's why. Like it's some weird part of the closure process. And like, I just feel like I'm keeping my collection and here's why. And then you're on the other end of it where you're like, I'm always, you are always kind of filtering things in and out to sell things you're not using and get stuff that you would use. And that's from pinballs to arcades to like, and that's another way to do it. And I just like, I understand people selling stuff off, but it's just like, I want to talk about that again. Cause like, it's this huge trend I'm seeing. And then, I did have something else I want to talk about and I totally forgot about it, but we'll have to roll that into next week.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, man. Well, that really for this week. That's all I got. I'm excited to. Also, actually, after we're done with the podcast here, I'll send you a picture of. You should do a before and after with the diner. Like, it's not an official like before and after because I'm not done with it, but I'd like you to see the differences. Because if you blow up that picture that I sent you on Twitter, it's fucking disgusting. It makes me want to puke.
Yeah, text it to me. I'll post it up.
I'll text it to you. You can put it side by side. But yeah, man, I'm excited about that. I do within the next couple of weeks. I'll probably know about some vids. If I'll probably have to make a decision here. But I think it's weird. I kind of have my eye on that Centipede, and I really have always liked the Cabaret version of that, and I've kind of had the itch to buy another Centipede. So, but there's other great games out there, and I can't have them all, unfortunately. So. Anyway, we'll continue that conversation when it comes along. But yeah, man, just good to get things back on track this week. And it's been a busy couple weeks, so that's how it goes sometimes. So, but good to get back on, and that's it, man. So, as always, for RetroGameFix.com, the Retro Jones podcast. This is Mitch,
and this is Mike,
and we'll see you maybe next week.
See you.